Adam Tofik, while he may seem like just an ordinary Rhode Island college student, he has lived a life that is far from boring. From the Far East to Northern Europe to the United States, we'll take a look at the many journeys Adam has taken in such a short amount of time. Let's get to know the man that many of us see every day but know very little about.
Okay, Adam, thank you so much for being here. You're a beast for coming this soon. So we're going to start from the very beginning. Where and when were you born?
I was born August 26, 1990 in a small town called Salisbury, Maryland.
Awesome. How long did you live there for?
The first 3 years of my life.
How was your childhood, if you can remember? How was your childhood there?
Not bad. It was a really, really small town. My parents they're big city people, and it was sort of an odd transition, but I think I was okay.
Awesome. Where did you go from there?
We first went to Chattanooga, and I was there for a couple of years. Also kind of a small suburban area. And then after that, my first overseas move was in Japan, and I lived there for 2 years. And then Hong Kong for 3 years. And then the Netherlands for about 8.5 years, and then Rhode Island.
Really? Did you notice any sort of cultural differences between Japan and Hong Kong, and then the Netherlands?
Yeah, in Japan, people were extremely polite. They never said no directly. If the closest thing to no was, that's difficult. In Hong Kong, they were very hardworking, but it was a louder society, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the Netherlands, you had lived there for 9 years, you said?
Oh, yeah.
What were some of your experiences there?
When I first moved there, I was taken aback because I thought that the Dutch people were rude, but I didn't realize that they were just blunt. They're very straightforward, and I've come to like that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And what was very interesting about the Netherlands is we didn't really have huge corporation chains. We had a supermarket called Albert Heijn, but it was nothing like a Kroger or something, or anything like that. You would buy cheese and dairy products from a cheese store and meats and stuff from a butcher. Like there would be individual stores like that.
So it was pretty much like how America was before industrialization.
Yeah, sort of.
Capitalism and stuff like that. Yeah, it was really nice. What drew you to move to Rhode Island, or what sort of reasons?
I am a film studies major. I want to concentrate on film history, and it is one of the few schools outside of California that has that degree, and it was the first of my backup schools to accept me, and I really have no ties to America, so Rhode Island was just as fine of a place as anywhere else.
What made you first interested in film studies?
I don't know. I've been trying to think about that, but I can't remember. I've just always loved Hollywood, especially the studio system, the 30s to the 50s. It's just somehow, over time, I got interested in film history. I guess I wanted to know, what was behind the scenes.
Had you experienced any other films in the nations that you lived in before?
Meaning, I watched films of the...
Films of, yes.
Not really. Not really. I mean, most of the places had a lot of Hollywood films. I mean, Hollywood kind of takes over the film industry of the world.
Yeah, as we're learning in class today.
Yeah.
What's your favorite film? Just interested.
I don't have one favorite film, but the closest thing to a single favorite film might be the 1950 film All About Eve with Bette Davis and Anne Baxter.
Yes. You had also mentioned to me that you would travel to Egypt and also Scotland. Describe those sort of areas. Like, what did you do there? Was it just vacation?
We visited Egypt because my father's Egyptian and he has a lot of family there. They're mostly in Alexandria. And I don't know, I might have more fun if we didn't visit our family so much. But yeah, Alexandria has nice weather. It's on the beach, so it gets a bit more
really
breeze. Cairo is so hot and muggy and just overcrowded, and it sometimes gets to be a bit much. Scotland was fun. Last summer we went on a car tour around practically all of Scotland. We drove around, and it is such an interesting place. I didn't realize how big it was.
Is it that big?
It is relatively big, and a lot of the countryside was just so quaint. I mean, we were in the country for 2 or 3 days, and when we went to a bigger city, we almost felt culture shock. We just really got into the mood of the country atmosphere.
That's cool. So out of all of the places you've been, because you've been to several, we mentioned like what, 7, I think? I lost count. What's been your favorite and why?
I have 2 favorites. I like Japan a lot because it was so interesting. I say that there's no place in this world like Japan. It's just such a unique place, and it was very difficult to live there because everything was in kanji, and we spoke only a little bit of Japanese, enough to get around.
Yeah. But you're not fluent in it?
Oh, no. It's a very difficult language. And I like the Netherlands because it was the closest thing to a home since I lived there for so long.
Yeah, because you had lived there for like 9 years.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed learning about your life in
Thank
this 5 to 7 minutes. So I'll see you tomorrow in class. Have a good
Definitely.
day.
Thank you.
We're
You
done.
too.
Old, dusty portraits of politicians, withering newspapers from the past. These are some of the many things that come to mind when we think about historical items from our state. Oftentimes, however, we tend to overlook the most important objects, archived film reels. Motion picture footage is essential to understanding the culture that surrounded Rhode Island years ago, and through the Rhode Island Historical Society, they are preserved and archived in local museums. Visit www.rihs.org to learn more about how you can help keep our history alive through film.